Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, this is Mohammed Shyllon coming to you now from the United States. With me today, going to be Mr. Jallo Jamboria, who will be coming to Una from Norway, and he will be my co-host. And then we other regular co-host, Mr. Mengot, Victor Mengot, is on assignment somewhere, so he's not going to be on board today. He may not even be on board next week, but for this weekend, he's not going to be on board. But that not for hold anybody will listen to we. If they get any question will pertain to anything Mr. Mengot had said in previous broadcasting, please feel free for call. If we wait there today, not get an answer, we'll go make a note of it and bring it to Mr. Mengot attention when he's back on the show or before he gets back on the show, the next one. All right. So today is, of course, April 6th, 2025. So we welcome everybody back. And we hope this will be a very interesting discussion. We will talk about things then with the trend, some current affairs now we country, and they all they connected or interconnected, politics, social activities. We include things like high school, centennial and bicentennial celebrations, those kind of things. So we will talk about that. We will talk about other issues, but all of which will be connected as we proceed. And as usual, I can always let people know when we begin the program. If you get any question, please feel free to call. We may not remember to remind you, but from time to time, we remind you that the lines are open and you can call. And we're not way familiar with the show. We know say this is an interactive program, and it's live. It's being done in real time, meaning regardless of where you are at the moment, anywhere in the world, you can call in or at some numbers where they can present on a just now and comment, and we'll carry you live on the show. And so everybody will listen, go read what you to say and what you therefore say. And we also want to remind people and say this show here goes all over the world. People listen to it from everywhere. The VOS shows them. So it's current, it's not pre-recorded. So we'll not record them and play them later. So that's why it pays to call in if you disagree or agree or want to add. So if an issue is not adequately or sufficiently discussed, please feel free to add to it. So we could proceed on that basis. Again, let me remind everybody for say, usually the purpose of this show is in particular, this Sunday show, is for let we all try one aspect of them now for disseminate or give news out there, share whatever information we get with the rest of our listeners in the world. We also pick up from other sources. So this is not of a political overtone. So some presentation we will make is easy for infer or for draw inference that we are trying to imply some criticism about the government or the current government. Well, it may sound that way, but it is not the purpose. The purpose is for we all, as I can say, there is all this slogan, Sierra Leone, we're all young. And Dr. Olo get the music where he say, Salone, we're all young, so we therefore put two hands together for make a lovely Sierra Leone. But talk is cheap. We can say it anything in there, actions, then can say, sound louder than words. So make we action consistent with we speech or we talk. In America, part of we lingua or we repertoire, we say we should not only talk the talk, but we must walk the walk. Okay, so in that sense, let me just recite some numbers them as we always do for people that will listen, when they join the program. So then go know waiting not the numbers and for call in case they get a question. If you are calling from North America, which entail Mexico, United States, and Canada, these three countries, of course, you can call from your regular telephone number, but if you want call at no cost to you, just call the toll-free number. And the toll-free number will cost you nothing. That toll-free number is 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. Now, if you call from the United Kingdom, then you want also not to pay for the call, because sometimes, as I always indicate, you may be put on hold because sometimes we get a long line of people in the queue. And so it will be very unfortunate for you to be the fifth, seventh, or eighth person online where everybody is accorded a minimum of 3 minutes. So that will be like holding 15 or more minutes, depending on what side you find yourself, what are you number or what rank. So we try to avoid that one day. So by cutting down on cost. So if you call a toll-free number, when it cost you, you may get the patience for wait. So if you call from England, it's plus 44 2080891455. Plus 44 2080891455. If you are calling from Australia, it will be plus 61 2909843337. From Australia, the free number for call from will be, for call to, will be plus 61 2909843337. Now, the universal number where you will call regardless of what side in the world, unless there is some restriction placed on that calling or that medium there, that will be the WhatsApp number. WhatsApp is +1 343 997 5828. 343 997 5828. So if you call our number there, it's free. You can, if we put you on hold, if you get a patience, you can wait until we reach you. We can promise that we will reach you. We'll try our best, unless we're way past the closing time or the end of the program. We always try to make sure, say, if there are people still holding, let we try to answer them questions or respond to anything or accept or entertain what they call for. We also get a radio station in Freetown. It's 91.9 FM. 91.9 FM. But to be able to get a 91.9 FM day, you have to download the VOS television mobile app. VOS TV mobile app. And you can go to the Google Play Store, or you can go to the Apple, or the Apple Store. Google Play Store or Apple App Store to be able for access, because if you just go ahead and you just do 91.9 FM, you may get an FM station with the same number in the United States or in Canada or wherever you may be calling from. So you have to download the app, the VOS television app. In addition to that, as some of our listeners know, we are carried on YouTube. Okay, VOS television, just go on VOS television. We're carried on Facebook. Also VOS television. We're carried on X, that used to be called Twitter. Again, VOS television. So if you go on X, or formerly Twitter, you'll be able to get with. We also are carried on VOS TV websites such as vostelevision.com, vosradio.com, and of course, as I said earlier, the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Okay, so please check all them outlets here or sources than here. You ought to be able to reach we in many ways than one. Also, let me don't leave out the fact that VOS also get what we call a non-profit diaspora program. For raise money, we were there abroad, we appeal to people them for say, where they run a special fundraising for just give scholarship to Pekin them where they go home, who are not fortunate enough from coming from a home where the parents then get the means, for take care of young people, and we get the ability for progress in school, but they not get the financial wherewithal. So we want for help some of them picking in there, and thereby, of course, by implication, helping the parents. So we ask that we get this diaspora helping hand non-profit organization, which is a scholarship program for Sierra Leonean children in Sierra Leone who have the aptitude to do well in school, but are not able financially to stay in school because the parents do not get the money. And of course, they definitely not get the money for go private schools. So depending on how much money is raised for the scholarship, we cannot say how far we can help. But that's a try for so no amount is too small. So please try to reach. It's called. You can reach us at vosdiaspora.org. vosdiaspora.org. Okay, and then just go on the website. You go see the literature on the program, and please do the best you can to help us with it. And so going back to today's program, my co-host will be Mr. Jallo Jamboria from Norway. So he needs no introduction. So I will yield at this point and let him announce his presence, and we'll move from there. To you, Mr. Jamboria.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bambulem, una good evening, una good day, una kabo, wadi yagba. Afuma mene piari. Bonesia biana kawiena. We don't come back to the law, can't talk about the yagbada na Salone. I think na Chebe been say the Iroko bird say when the hunter don't land for shoot, they miss, ain't go land for fly without patching. That go sit on a tick. And Creole say, Piki say mama no dey sleep, himself no go sleep. Well, the one that up here now then they cause trouble, so we no go tire. They go not go tire. If they want, they say na criticism. But for all we know,
I think, Mr. Jamboria, you mute. I don't know what happened. You are muted. Okay. While Mr. Jamboria is trying to straighten that out,
hello?
let me just. Yes,
no,
sir.
I'm back again.
Right. Okay.
There was a disconnection somehow from my moving the computer.
Okay.
All we know, Sierra Leone belongs to every Sierra Leonean. And that means we all get different roles for performing at the society. We all get different stations for put we self. And we all for be we brothers keeper. Una Christian, the Bible tell una say una for be the brother's keeper. That means look the next man, when do good, tell and say do good. When not do good, say but party this thing not good. If you had one for that, left and no more. Let vex. Let Bill tell na heard about you. No worry about that. So we go come, we go look at the issues, we go talk them in good faith. And one day, we all know. We are not coming here to say things out of malice. I don't think say anybody in a VOS will hold malice for anybody in a Sierra Leone. If people and feel say, because then they're in political offices, people should not talk. If they talk, it's malice. Then sometimes some of we more qualified for them at them position than they. And now I not feel say, we say no sabi go campaign and get the offices then. No sabi. And sometimes we reach there for now one stop we go be different story. But some of us are not interested in politics. We are interested in the welfare of the country. And you cannot stop us from saying this is what is right for Sierra Leone. Thank God I'm 2 days to my platinum anniversary. That a broadcaster now. So me they talk, don't kill me, they can 70. Now your business. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamboria. And like how you say, for piggyback on what you just said, Creole, again, back home, in fact, now Creole saying, but I mean, when they can come on and say back home, but I don't know if not Creole per se say that. And can say, tell friend true, not for well friend.
Yes.
And a true friend is a friend where go tell you as it is, like we would say in America. You know, they'll tell you as it is or tell you like it is, but not to for tell you what you want for your re. So we get for try for keep up to that adage day. You know, tell friend true, not go for friend. And the other thing, what would they try for let people understand? Bringing something to light or highlighting something in the country that makes the country infamous. It's not criticism. It's being done out of deep sense of concern. And so we'll go play a video where we will go left and to una go listen to the video. Now an interview by an AYV interviewer, a female interviewer of a government official. I just happened to have watched it, and I felt these are some of the things we have to bring to even both the interviewer and the interviewee's attention of how we ought not take ourselves too seriously. Okay? And it's an interview by a young lady in AYV of a person whose official position is media advisor to the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. So we're going to ask the control room for play that video there. And that video there, we'll connect them with other videos and we'll go play as they all have one commonality or one thing in common. But we want to go see the true picture as we proceed. So I will ask the control room for play that video there. And let's see. So we'll comment on it. We'll go listen to that. When I can call and state your own opinion. Like I said, the lines will be open. So please feel free to call anytime. Okay?
Good evening and welcome. We're live on screen again with AYV on Sunday. The Times Sierra Leone newspaper on 27th March 2024 reported that President Boye is the record holder of the most travelled leader in Africa. The President's office and the government have mentioned before that the President's trips are to attract direct foreign investment and launder the international image of Sierra Leone. But that image has now been stained by drug scandals, security and terrorism threats and misuse of US visas. Sierra Leone, which is known as the Lion Mountain and once the anthems of West Africa, is today ranked the second unhappiest country in the world. Tonight, we ask the following questions. Sierra Leone's image amid recent scandals. What has the government done? How can Sierra Leone's international image be laundered? Tonight, we will deep dive into some of these issues. This is AYV on Sunday. Now, there's still a pending extradition request from the Dutch government to Sierra Leone for VOS, a wanted fugitive sentenced for drug-related crimes. Last week, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, LDEA, and Joint Security Forces intercepted a large drug shipment in Boye District, Lofa County, worth over 77,000 United States dollars, allegedly from Sierra Leone, with threats here and there of acts of terrorism. According to the U.S. ambassador as well, Brian Hunt, 15% of Sierra Leoneans who travel on tourist and business visas to the United States of America overstay, while 35% of those who travel on student visas remain in the United States illegally. Tonight, we ask the following questions. What is the government doing to rebrand the image of the country? What is the best international public relations approach to these scandals? This is AYV on Sunday, and I am Fabian Sweel. Good evening and welcome. Joining us tonight is a live audience of journalism students from Limpopo University of Creative Technology who shall at some point get an opportunity to make a contribution in the program. We highly encourage you to participate in the program by simply dropping a comment or question about what we're discussing on our Facebook page on the comment section of AYV News. On the panel tonight are Imran Silla, Media Advisor, Strategic Communications Unit, Ministry of Information and Civic Education. We're expecting Dr. Victor Moinina, Governance Lecturer at the Institute of Public Administration and Management, IPAM. We have Mohammed Jallo, Director, Tourism, Travel and Exchange Program from the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. And online via Zoom, we have Vicky Remo, Public Relations and Digital Marketing, Digital Media Strategist. Good evening, gentlemen in the studio. Good evening to you, Vicky, online, and to the audience in the studio.
Thanks for the opportunity. Good evening.
Right. So we would start the conversation straight with you, Imran Silla, representing the Ministry of Information. There have been too many scandals, as I read through the introduction of tonight's conversation. Too many scandals. What has the government done about these scandals, considering the impact they have on the country's reputation?
Well, thank you very much. Let me just make one more addition, which is when the flyer was sent out to me, it did talk about a spotless. That was the exact adjective being used to describe what potentially could be or should be the image of nation states, and us, included. As I saw that and listening to your intro, I think we need to reshape this conversation. You don't need to thank me now, you can thank me later. Because
unfortunately, shaping the conversation is a decision by the production team, which has already been done. So I'll ask again, I was asking, too many drugs-related scandals hitting Sierra Leone's image recently. What has the government done to address these issues, considering its impact on the country's image?
So I'm going to continue from where I left off when you interjected. I'm going to attempt to reshape the conversation, yeah? And nobody needs to thank me now. I can be thanked later. What do I mean by that? There is nowhere in the world where you can use the adjective as having a spotless society or spotless nation. Every nation state have got their own challenges. It depends from state to state and what those issues are and how they come up from time to time. Nation states have been determined based on how they react to situations as and when they do occur.
And that's exactly why we're asking you tonight. What has the government of Sierra Leone done to address these issues that are leaving a stain on the country's reputation and image?
So nation states have been determined based on their reaction to situations as and when they do occur. It is also useful, very useful for this conversation for us to have the context right and situate it properly. What do I mean by that? This is 7 years almost of President Julius Maada Bio's government. In 7 years, His Excellency the President has been chairman of the C10, that's the Committee of 10, which has to do with the reform of...
Imran Silla. Imran, the conversation is guided by questions from the presenter. What you're doing right now is taking off of what the question was not. The question was not about the history of what's going on. It's about this context of drugs-related scandals and what the government is now doing to address these scandals, considering, again, its impact on the country's reputation. This program is guided by time. We would not want to get to a point where there's more to add to the conversation and we're running out of time. Let's please manage our time wisely and respond to the questions put to you.
So I think you should understand me by now. We've had a fair amount of time coming into this studio having those conversations. I'm not one to be pigeonholed into a conversation, just so we know that, and let us establish that from the outset. I should be able to have the liberty and the latitude as it relates to a question being asked as to what the answer should be coming from me. You cannot now guide my thoughts as to how I answer to those questions. What I'll ask and urge that you do at every given opportunity that I have tonight is for you to ask the questions and allow me and the public ultimately to run to those conclusions. So if we get that format right, I think this back and forth we wouldn't have for the rest of the program.
You still have not answered what the government is doing.
You seem to be drifting away and you're not allowing me to answer to the question.
The only drift is you not answering the question put to you.
I don't have to answer it.
What is the government doing?
I don't have to answer it in the way you're thinking. Let me situate this conversation correctly and then we can move on from that point. I mean, if you appreciate that, that's fine. If not, then I think you can ask someone else.
Is the government doing anything about these drug-related scandals?
You talk about image and the reputation of Sierra Leone, and this government in particular, and that image does not just rest on what has happened in the past few weeks. It's an image that has been in existence for 7 years now of President Julius Maada Bio's government. So I think it is worthwhile and useful and necessary that if we are talking about image, we have to situate this conversation correctly and make sure that we pinpoint every single thing that has happened in 7 years to get to this point, and then we can also now talk about the reaction of this government in these moments and the references you've made. So if you appreciate that, then I'll move on from this point. Let me make the point. His Excellency the President has been chairman of the C10, that's the committee that has to do with the reform of the Security Council. He is also, at this point as we talk, Sierra Leone is a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, and that is going to be for the next 2 years. We also have the MCC to talk about, which Sierra Leone and this government particularly has passed for 7 years in a row. Let me go to the figures for 2024 as against 2025, because if we want to talk about image, it directly deals with the image of Sierra Leone and its reputation, and that's the reason why we have passed the MCC for 7 years in a row. For control of corruption index, in 2024, it was 76. In 2025, it's 74. Political rights, it's 87 in 2024. It's 90% in 2025. Freedom of information, it's 89% in 2024, it's 91% in 2025. Civil liberties, 36% in 2024 and 2025. Girls' education, it's 92% in 2024, it's 94% in 2025. Education expenditures, we had a pass in 2024, in 2025 it was 25%, 97% in 2025. Immunization rates, 89% in 2024 and 79% in 2025. Healthcare, not scored in 2024, we can talk about 2025 at 72%. Employment opportunities, 87% in 2024 and 94% in 2025.
Gives me
Gender
no
in the economy,
pleasure to interrupt you there, but
in 2025.
While you take us on
point
wild
is this:
goose
you're talking
chase.
about the character and
I'll
image of this
quickly
country.
head to Zoom
It is
and
useful.
talk to Vicky Remo.
It is useful that we have a conversation
please
that
try
is
to
situated
maintain
correctly.
decorum in the studio. Thank
no.
I'll
You are
come right back to
interjecting.
you.
Let me finish, and then
Vicky
you get
Remo,
onto
you
it.
don't control the show,
No. You have started up on a very
Vicky,
disruptive note,
you
and I think
are a digital media.
have a conversation that is situated
Imran,
properly, and then we can.
Imran, I would ask you respectfully to please conduct yourself properly in our studio. Thank you. Vicky Remo, you are a digital media specialist. From the digital media perspective and the public relations perspective, what do you think Sierra Leone is dealing with currently?
All right. I think we had enough of the exchange between Miss Vivian, I can't remember her last name, and Mr. Sila.
Swill, Vivian Swill.
Okay, so Mr. Jamboria, let me let you go first. Just give us your perspective of what you saw.
My very honest perspective.
Yes, sir.
What we see on stage, or what we see in that exchange, is an aspect of what is destroying Sierra Leone today. You see, you can be head of a department, you can be head of a country, you can be head of any institution or any group of people, but you don't have the right to micromanage people. What is micromanagement? When somebody, now the leader or manager, feels say, if I control everything about the decision of the people the way they work with to an extreme degree, either what he say or nothing. That's what Imran Sila is doing. And he's not only doing it with impunity, but with rudeness. For a public official coming from a government ministry, and again, that big name, strategic communication, that kind of behavior is rudeness. Especially so on a television network where they go global. AYV TV is global. Me the Kechana, I'm IPTV. Anybody who get internet protocol TV, they catch AYV TV. It's one of the channels. That's absolute and extreme rudeness. If I was the one who employed him, I would sack him instanta. Public relations is about temperance. It's about control. It's about even when they say something you don't like to hear, you smile. It's not always when people smile that they're happy, but you do it to temper down the situation. But his behavior there shows somebody who is not properly brought up. Honestly. You see, the man they talk about good image of Sierra Leone, and not even realize say that network the way they talk so, then they share all over the world who say internet today. Now we imagine say Julius Maada Bio don't create a good image for Sierra Leone. He don't well am instanta by what he do so. Yes, I am not mincing my words. Everybody they see and know what they happen in the world today because we have technology. So we have to be careful how they talk. What are they talk so? I conscious say, then they hear me all over the world. And I'm not using emotions. And I'm not insulting. I'm only saying the truth. And I know reasonable men all over the world will say, what that man is saying is correct. When are the contrary to what Imran Sila do. And not to that no more. I hear back in another meeting then this year, they talk about the same extradition issue. They quote the Constitution of Sierra Leone. There is nothing about extradition in the Constitution. There is an Extradition Act of 1974. Can these guys please be doing their homework before they go publicly? When they talk about branding Salone, when they go talk Rotorata, na network they go global. Eba, what are these guys smoking? Cocaine? This is going too far. And especially so in attitude towards a woman. I have to be honest. This very lady on LinkedIn, she made a comment at one time. I go back for correct term, but I can't for realize say the language I use may be misunderstood. I have always been thinking of going back to her to tell her, look, I'm sorry if you take offense with what I say. That's something about the history of Sierra Leone. There are times when we make a mistake, we understand we've made a mistake. You understand? But Imran was deliberate because if you know we get power, we can say and do anything we like. None of the issue the lady they talk about in no address. The issue is, una say una they brand the name of the country. The issue is, una don't spend the country money for go brand this name. Now una the harbor a cocaine dealer. What una go do now? What's in the answer? A balancer. I'm going to wait. We have done this for MCC. He begin count percentages. Percentages, my foot, Imran. But party try for the behavior self next time na public. And do ya, before they can talk, do you research, yeah? Not all zombie they deal with you. They are thinking men and women in Sierra Leone. Please, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamboria. Just from me on observation and perspective, and again, you know, I always can say Sierra Leone, when it comes to names of being given to agencies and departments and individuals, I don't think you get any country we can beat with. We know, I think we can win an Academy Award, we can use it. I think we can beat any country when it comes to that. Because this very gentleman, Mr. Imran Sila, Mr. Jamboria, they talk about, he is supposed to be a media advisor.
Yeah.
And television, a medium. So he's supposed to be an advisor to people where they appear or how the whole industry of media should be run and how people should conduct themselves when they are on live. Okay? He also has the title of being someone entrusted with the responsibility of civic education. You know, civic education, from my perspective, now where one get the temperament, the discipline, the balance for engage in a conduct of civilized behavior. All right? And I think but it's clear, if one listen to what happened at the exchange between the interviewer and the interviewee, one cannot help but for sense some problem with temperament. It's clear Mr. Imran Sila is a man who back home would say get temper. It's temperamental. It comes across very clearly. I don't think, say, a media advisor or even somebody who engage in media activities should now want to disqualify that one day. Okay? Yeah. The woman even tell and say, we get time limitations and there are other people on the panel. So if we go by the way we answer the question where the pose, we're not going to able to reach substantive discussions of the issue because it will be eaten up with superficial explanation. And me as a lawyer, any lawyer, not all lawyers don't do courtroom work. But I used to be a trial lawyer. I still try cases, but I wouldn't call myself a trial lawyer anymore because I used to do this on a regular basis. When you ask a question to someone on the witness stand, be that person the defendant or a prosecution witness or plaintiff's witness, you are required to answer the question responsive. Your answer should be responsive to the question.
Yeah.
One is not going to ask you, is your name John Doe? And you say, well, my father's name is Doe, but John was my grandfather's name. And so therefore, blah, blah, blah. That's not responsive to the question. The answer should simply be yes. My name is John Doe.
Yes, no.
And you can ask the court permission, say, may I explain how I came to be called John Doe? And it will be up to the judge to say, okay, go ahead. Or the court may say, no, there is no need. Because the question was very simple. Is your name John Doe? And in courtroom practice, that is what we call permissible leading question. Otherwise, if not cross-examination, and then permissible leading question in the sense that if you're a prosecution witness, I'm not supposed to ask you the question, is your name John Doe? I should say, what is your name? But it is permissible because it's not prejudicial to the other party. Say, you name na John Doe, it not do any harm. So then a leading question, I'm supposed to ask, say, now you name na John Doe? I mean, which na you name? But the court will allow that because it's called permissible and leading question. Now, Mr. Emran or Mr. Shyllon, it looked like it would all come all pumped up to take issue. And here is where I have a lot of problem with Mr. Shyllon again. He keep insisting that the interviewer cannot control the flow. Well, I have never seen that. You cannot come
He
at the
wanted,
interview.
he wanted to be the DJ and also the dancer.
Yeah, everything. And just for everybody to just watch or observe other guests them. So I do not understand why he came out so aggressively and still did not answer the question with the woman asked him. I like the example where he give because he did talk about image, and here is the other problem where you get with that. Number one, we talk about consistency in terms of what he is claiming the president has been doing over the years, because she started off by saying, they say we're president and the most traveled president. And Mr. Shyllon became defensive by saying, he may be so, but here are all the accomplishments then we he do accomplish. But look at the
If I
relevance.
may comment, sir.
Okay.
Can you
Yes, sir.
spend 4 years just to get $400 million when your country needs $4 billion every year?
No,
Is that
no,
an
no,
accomplishment?
no, no,
It's
none of
like,
that.
they talk to people as if every Sierra Leonean is a dummy. This MCC, for God's sake, what then they make noise about, Mr. Shyllon? That money is $400 million. If you pay good living wages in Sierra Leone, the government sector alone, they consume $400 million in 4 years. If you pay good living wages, what is it 4 years? 4 months. Sorry. 4 months. We they consume 400 million. Because if you pay good living wages with the size of government labor we will get presently in Sierra Leone, you say everybody for earn a minimum of $1,500 per month as take home after tax. We will be spending close to $100 million per month. So it's just 4 months wages. Now they make all this noise, but you see, now we examine this thing and now begin talk about the issues we're Sierra Leone they face. Otherwise, this kind of thing will continue cyclic forever and ever. Then go pull SLPP, APC come, the same cycle continue. Back in 1960, after we got independence, nothing was done to create a platform for the people for get the level of awareness where they need for make them able to rationalize. So today, it don't become a culture that politicians go out there, they preach the language of sympathy, not empathy. We are running for, yeah, we want 400 million, but for what? Hey, me don't do this for the country. You are not doing it for the country. You were elected to do it. So do it. And also, when they don't do it, they find a way to blame. Even when Imran been the talk, in the area, in the last 7 years, as if to say before the last 7 years, nothing substantial had happened in Sierra Leone. If nothing substantial had happened in Sierra Leone, let us ask him, how did he get educated? Where did he get educated? You see, we got to make people and begin think out of the box. Let them begin see the nonsense way, this political class. And when they say political class, they talk about all of them. I don't care how they call themselves, APC, SLPP, this, that, they're all the same people. Then they use the concept of victimhood in politics. And they try to create a picture to the people as if they are the victims doing all the dirty work and the people are very ungrateful. When they cannot perform, they come with excuses using the victimhood concept. It's time we begin to call out these things for Sierra Leoneans to understand. Otherwise, this idiocy will continue. A country with so much potentials. Now they go and bigger 400 million, they consider them a success. That Uncle Lilia or no alone, if they sign proper contract, minimum Sierra Leone they get $2 billion annually. Minimum. And I can prove it. This
Okay, I think Mr. Jamboria, you are muted again accidentally. While you're taking care of that, let me just add to what I was saying. Then you can.
I think I'm back on, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
What I was saying is, this kind of political culture where they don't create in Sierra Leone, if we not try for discontinuum in a peaceful way, it get for lead we country to a crisis where the whole world will regret. And some of us don't want that. Some of us don't want that too. If you see that man go to a studio where they go globally, they go talk so and behave that way, if they tell you say we don't reach the extreme point of barbarism in Sierra Leone. It's barbaric for somebody considered intelligent, educated, and civilized for go put that kind of behavior in a public media. And I will not be afraid to say it. I'm Mohammed Boye Jallo Jamboria. Would I want you make me your enemy now your business? I don't care. Over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jamboria. And let me remind the listeners them again. The lines are open. Please feel free to call anytime. As a continuation of what you have been saying, so Mr. Sila seemed to be offended. He seemed to be upset with the fact that, by implication, the interviewer is not talking about what he, Mr. Sila, considers progress by the president, either single-handedly or imagery-wise. That instead she wants to talk about drug and drug trafficking. Even though in context she said it damaged the image of the country. But Mr. Shyllon posed that thing, he juxtaposed that and said, but what about all the 7 years with the president not in power? Look at all the other things then where it do. He start reading this litany of stuff, whatever that meant. Okay, the percentages or the statistical things then will be the site. But here is the problem with Mr. Shyllon's argument. Let me give, for purposes of illustration, for make a point. If someone goes to church every Sunday, or someone goes to Mass Lassie or the mosque every Friday, let's say to add with that, this person who goes to church every Sunday is a pastor, or using the Muslim analogy, this person will go make a 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And go pray every Friday. Then what can I do? Say, if I know only word, it was put out there that this person don't commit rape, or he don't commit murder, or he don't commit burglary. But some serious allegation will deal with criminality. And then one approaches one of the deacons of the church, or the pastor himself, or the secretary of the church, or the Mass Lassie, and say, kind of studio want to talk to you. When he comes and say, well, we understand, say, Reverend such and such and such, then say they're in charge and with rape, and the person in response, well, what about all this 10-year will this reverend will preach? Why we not go talk about that? Why not the rape, not the issue? Well, shouldn't the rape be the issue? Because that allegation there is very much inconsistent to the role that this person plays. The interviewer is saying, they say the president, they go out there and they try to spread good image about us. But here is something that is tarnishing the image. And we not see any evidence yet of the government dealing with that issue. We go blemish the president in your perceived record of casting Sierra Leone in the right light. Okay? So instead of you say, well, answer the question, you want what we call a gerrymander or a filibuster by coming up with all kinds of issues they will not get nothing to do with waiting the woman they ask. Who, if you care about Sierra Leone, if you really love the country, who among us will not be concerned about the image which Sierra Leone of late do develop about drug trafficking or about being a conduit for drugs? Why will anybody be upset if a question like that is posed to someone particularly who poses as a representative of the government? Why are they so offensive about that? And the other thing I don't understand, people should understand that we don't have, even in the developed countries, like where you see that, because people don't understand the issue of governance. And because then they say, oh, you don't have to tell you government thanks, because now then job then they do.
Exactly.
They're not doing you a favor. So Mr. Shyllon talks like, oh, this woman, the interviewer should be grateful. Well, the president is being paid to go around and spread and do what he is supposed to be doing. He's being paid. So don't start beating somebody claiming that, oh, what about the 7 years with the president will get this? But nobody has to thank the president for any of that. He was just doing his job. It's just like when somebody, you go eat in a restaurant, you pay for the food. If you give the waiter or the waitress a tip, that's just out of your good nature. But you don't have to, because you've paid for the food.
Yeah.
So you can't say, I'm not going to that restaurant again, because then waiters, they want a tip. But because it's optional. So I do not understand this concept. So like Mr. Jamboria said, when you can at TV, you can take all that balancing act into consideration. The image where you project. You know, the logic or sense of what you are saying out there. And you image as to how you represent the government. Because this to me, Mr. Sila, with all due respect, you come across as being very temperamental. You may not be arrogant as it appears to be. I don't want to call you arrogant. I just think you're temperamental, and which is kind of a paradox or paradoxical to the position of being an advisor of civic education and all of that kind of thing. And let me just add one aspect to that civic education day, because I don't understand. You see, this big name, if we do civic education back home, I don't know in what context they're saying that. Because we have a video, I don't think we've shown, but that I sent to my producer, where now Shyllon, Kisi, when they put an overhead bridge. What do people use the overhead bridge for? Not for crossover, for avoid congestion or accidents. They are using it for defecation, as latrine, as toilet. Well, where is the civic education? Are people, or is the president appointing the right people? Because I think when you put that, you for educate the people for, say, overhead bridge, not a latrine. And there's a video to that. It's not, I'm just not making it up. We can play it if anybody disagree. If not today, we can play another time. Okay? So when we get all them big name here, director of civic education, let's see what that position, what that responsibility does for the people. But when we sit down in beloved country, when they put an overhead bridge for try for make life easy for people, people see nothing better to do than to use the bridge as a toilet. It is sad. And it is a reflection, not the people using it. I'm not defending them. It's a reflection of the people entrusted with the responsibility of enlightening the people why that should not be done. In addition to the public health it creates. Now, socially, I can explain why people do that. Because as much as we might want to think of ourselves as having come of age in Sierra Leone, we haven't. Go up country and you will find that very easily. I grew up upline. And this is no disrespect, this is not being condescending. People do not know any better. It's strange to say. There are a lot of people, lots and lots of people back up country. They don't even have lavatory or latrines. They don't. Now bush then they go. So when the wardrobe then kind of a people and they all doing a free tongue, you expect them to be just so knowledgeable and informed right away. They don't know. So we bookman them, they're not for just foolishly assume. Well, some of the bookman then come out from that background. Some of them guys here where they make all this big shots. That's the background they come from. They know that. So for the good of the country and for the good of the people, when I put them in there, when I educate the people and say, there's a particular way for use this facility, and it should not be misused for such and such and such. And not only that, at the top of the civic education part, so it should not be, not only it should not be used that way there, but hire people then for maintain, for carry maintenance of whatever facility you want to provide for the people. But don't go into a studio and start claiming that the disrepute where the country of late though become infamous for should never be asked. Because when you ask that question there, it's an aspersion on the president or in presidency, which is foolish. and I think it's a gross disservice to the country. And there is one layer to that. We're going to also play a video in this show when a similar accusation was made on the Ghanaian TV by the opposition, the current opposition of the new president. Almost a similar accusation, and see how the Ghanaian president handled it and how the Ghanaian opposition handled it. So the irresponsibility is on both sides. How the Ghanaian opposition handled it, how the Ghanaian government handled it, as opposed to Sierra Leonean opposition, as well as the we government. And everybody should just sit and keep quiet. We'll go play that video there. So, I mean, there is a lot to be said, but I think we've addressed the issue. Mr. Jamboria, if you have anything else you want to add to that, you're welcome.
You see, the only thing I go say, Mr. Shyllon, if you are in government in Sierra Leone now, you have to be aware and aware that you are dealing with a situation that has been the creation of a reckless society since independence. Derek Bock say, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Indeed.
I always say this, and I will say it until thy kingdom come, or until Sierra Leoneans understand it. The problem of Sierra Leone is socio-psychological, and it's the product of the reckless attitude of a particular set of people who did not look at how to build a nation, but how to enrich themselves since 1961 or even before. What they happen in Sierra Leone, so they not come overnight. And what in the happen in Sierra Leone, they fulfill one of the natural laws we say, to every action, there is an equal reaction. The cause-effect law, where science say action-reaction. For every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there is going to be a cause. If people are up to this term, they go use a flyover for place as toilet, then it tells you we have failed, and especially us, the intellectuals. We should be ashamed of ourselves. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Instead of blaming those people, let us blame ourselves. Because the first duty of an intellectual, now for change the mental status of a society. But in Sierra Leone, the intellectual is one who becomes the next bully, the neo-colonialist, because he thinks in education don't get the edge over the rest of mankind. And that's exactly what we see the effect of today in Sierra Leone. I always tell people that if we want to change Sierra Leone, we have to stop looking at who did what, but what caused what is happening now. What is causing all of this nonsense in our country? What is causing all of this barbaric behavior in our country? What is causing these things that we seem as abnormal in our country? And I'm sure if we begin to focus on the root causes, we will find the answers to Sierra Leone's problem. And those of us who think we're educated, please put down that oversized ego. It will not pay you. If you are wrong, admit you're wrong. It's bravery to say I'm wrong. I said it here just now, that on LinkedIn, I did commented on something posted by Fabian Swill. After reading it, I saw, oh, I should not have said it this way. It's not that it is wrong, but something told me that I was wrong. And I'm here saying it, not because I'm a weakling or a coward. And of course, I know I'm not a coward. That's why I'm saying it as it is. Those who are cowards, they behave like the Imran Silas. They kill people for saying the truth because they want to overshadow their cowardice. We get for change with mental status quo na Sierra Leone. We get for change with psyche. This, now we do this, now we do that, now we right, now we wrong. We are all wrong. We are all wrong. We are all wrong in Sierra Leone. Then we begin admit that, then we go begin see the light, how for make Sierra Leone a better place. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me just add, in fact, in listening, while Mr. Jamboria was talking, the control room give me indication, say, then get the video, which I had not had in mind because we had not put down at the plant, so I not been able to control room will easily access and the overhead bridge, but then get them. So for that reason, I may ask the control room for play them. But before them play them, very quickly, I begin an illustration or an analogy about someone going to church every Sunday at the mosque. The point, if I didn't make the point clear, was simply that, yeah, that speaks very well of that person who would go to church every Sunday, probably a member of the choir, and on and on and on. But if he's accused of having committed some serious crime, that shouldn't stop anyone and the church of confronting that person and say, this is what we heard. And it would be absolutely foolish of that person or someone would defend them for say, well, what about the every Sunday way they come to church? What about all the good things the way they do? But that's not the point now. This good person, if in a court of law we did, that will be considered factors in mitigation. When they don't find them guilty, where the judge they try for way punishment. Now in defense attorney in job down there for say, well, judge, this bad person way then cast now. So yeah, it's another side of her. But Mr. Imran Silla was too much in a hurry to reach the other side without addressing the issue. You see, so for that, so let the callers them hold if they don't mind. Let the control room please show the video. It's very short. So control room, please go ahead and show the video, and then we'll go take the questions.
Miss Salone farm with them. Here na Shell na the eastern part of Freetown. Today na the 10th March 2025. Are they up there is overhead bridge where President Boye been done construct now for make traffic go be less, that people then go to cross through the overhead bridge. We can they blame government with a point accusing fingers of politicians, but we serve the people, we get problem. Now if you come up this overhead bridge for cross, una watch, you see toilets, there are a toilet and so motorman toilets, you see. Now up there now then the toilets, you see. This all na toilet, so toilet up the overhead bridge. Watch. You see the toilet? This all na toilet. They don't, you know, the place too dirty. People then they get the bold mind that they claim up this bridge, then they sit down there, then they toilet, then they caca up there. When we ready, we say governments not they do this, governments not they do that. We the people self we know they take care. Huh? Watch no more na Jallo. You see, I really come na this place for make a show una and tell the whole world waiting they happen at Salone. Some people not civilized. So toilet, look this again. Now up here they can't see they kaka. Now so toilet they up here. You see? So I don't really know waiting we mean for we self. Una thank you anyway.
All right, I think this probably encapsulates the whole thing. So not to just waiting we feel, but when I see the video, someone sent, and I think, let me see, the image Sierra Leone should be concerned about is how the people of Sierra Leone view their government. The best ambassador of your country is your citizens. The drug saga is a national security problem, not an image discussion. Well, I think it's both, but thank you for the comments. And so let me go ahead. Okay, let me read one more. If Imran Silla were to answer that question directly, he would be out of a job instantly.
Well, nine business.
Yeah.
Nine business.
Then he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He should have known better not to appear, because you can't put limitation on the person where they go question you. So sorry to know that. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who say you call from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, Mr. Shyllon, Mr. Jallo Jamboria. Good evening. This is Abdul call.
Okay, Abdul, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. I just want to give you a small submission of topic here. This issue. I listened to the program live in 2 weeks ago. I listened to the program, the exchange between Imran and the Lady D, and it was a fiery exchange. And I go blame Imran, and I go blame him. One, you not go blame Imran because Imran is a spin doctor of the government, and I waiting in the plan for now to do so. But you, in another way, I dey blame him because not to the right method they use, just as in the right mistake. And then teaching a philosophy class, even if you see a board now black, philosophically you can argue in a philosophical way as the white, and you can for win the person where they argue say na black, but you they see them as white. I believe say Imran for be if for be more if for, like just like what you mentioned, say if for cool down in temper. In the old program when I watch, because the other fellow then I mean former students in school, Dr. Vitsomoinina, you dey see say he premeditate, he ready for go answer the say if they ask me anything where now something where they tarnish the image the name of Sierra Leone, I go answer this dog saga now the issue of the day. I feel saying that not be in purpose where it go before. But however, Sierra Leoneans and with these two political parties, as we always say, as if they are a cancer to the country. And if we realize that Sierra Leone is a small society compared to every day, that any small thing will happen, any small village, it is spread like wildfire. And negative news is spread faster past positive news. Not that now the detractors them go and spread them that faster as people then go protest, but that the psyche, as Mr. Jallo Jamboria say, it is gonna somebody in mind say this issue don't be in a Liberia, it don't be in a Guinea, Nigeria. What is going on? And Mr. Ibrahim Tila for me, if I'm able for put himself straight and address the issue, say this government not a collude with the so-called Baron saying this that. Find a way where you go able for defend the government as well as let people not see say you dey talk for like you lost your job. Because as I say now a spin doctor, I just want like what you go say na Yeliba and praise singer, you not get for can talk anything bad about the government. But there are ways and means where you go talk, not so bad you dey talk about the government, but you dey address the issue and proper solution. How we government will be able to handle that? That now this way government don't plan for handle the issue, but they not do none of that. Just like what you always say, the bookman in the country now they don't pull Sierra Leone. It just make a member with him, Professor Arisha and probably college sometime when we hear say knowledge when wasted is worse than ignorance. I think now the kind of people in that way we get the country. So if I may be more respectful and address that issue then without being confrontational. If not so me for here, even though say this is an indictment on the government, but what thing governments they do to address the issue head on. Now that the ask them tough question, then gotcha questions, but now how you they able for put yourself in the position for address the issue, let lost your job, but at the same time you they address the issue, let the viewers then say yes, this now only government self then concerned, but I not see you do that. So I just say for that make this small contribution. I stop so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdul. As always, thank you for your substantive contribution. As always, thanks. Okay, for further this discussion, let we just show a similar development we get for do with illicit activities involving drugs that just recently this past March also developed in Ghana. Let's just show the difference how the Ghanaian government they handle it. If we can ask the control room for play. This is a video by the opposition, the current opposition to the new government in Ghana.
On the matter of air med flights and Kavok Air private jets transporting suspected cocaine and cash. Ladies and gentlemen, on another security matter related to our airspace, the Minority Caucus calls on national security to, as a matter of urgency, make public the content of cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash transported into the country by two suspicious flights, namely Air Med flights NH23AM and Kavok Air private jets Antonov and 12B, which landed on the tarmac of Kotoka International Airport in March 2025 from Gran Canaria, an island of Spain, and departed to the same Gran Canaria days after their arrival. Reliable intelligence intercepted by the Minority Caucus indicates that on March 20th, 2025, Air Med flight NH23AM, which is an air ambulance, and I must stress, it's an air ambulance designed specifically to carry patients, landed at Kotoka International Airport in Accra, Ghana, and remained in the country for 5 days before departing 1 a.m. on March 25th, 2025, back to Gran Canaria. Our intelligence further persists that no patient was transported by the said Air Med flight, neither to nor from Accra. There is no evidence of medical referral or patients accompanying or on board the flights on either legs of the flight. We are reliably informed that contrary to the expectation that the Air Med flight would carry patients, the purpose for which it was designed and operates, it rather on this occasion carried suspicious cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash in various United States dollars denominations. In a related development, a private jet Kavok Air Antonov and 12B also landed at Kotoka International Airport on March 12, 2025 from the same island of Spain, Gran Canaria, and remained in the country for 13 days and departed at 6:40 hours, that is 6:40 a.m. on March 25th, 2025 to Gran Canaria. The very day Air Med flight also departed to Gran Canaria. While it is intriguing that the two suspicious flights would depart to the same location on the same day, even more intriguing is the cargo suspiciously transported by these aircrafts to and from Gran Canaria, an island known for its notoriety in drug trafficking, money laundering, among others. We call on national security to make full disclosure of the content of the cargo carried by these two aircraft into the country, as well as the cargo carried out of the country by the same aircraft to Gran Canaria, consistent with the principle of transparency in our collective quest to fighting drug trafficking and money laundering.
All right. Here is how the government, Mr. Jamboria, hold up. Here is how the government, can the control room put on the screen the government's response to this video? All right. The government doesn't have a video that we know of, a responsive video, but they have a response from the president, presumably from the president himself. They say, my attention has been drawn to allegation made at a press conference by an honorable member of parliament, Reverend John Tim Fojo, regarding two suspicious flights arriving at Kotoka International Airport suspected to be involved in drug trafficking and money laundering. Government takes all allegations seriously, and to ensure a thorough and transparent investigation, I have directed, this is the president talking now, all relevant investigative agencies, including the Narcotics Control Commission, the police, the National Investigation Bureau, and the National Security Coordinator, to immediately and fully collaborate with the Honorable Member of Parliament so he provides all necessary information to investigate the allegations and take all actions necessary to expose any drug dealing. We will maintain zero tolerance for using Ghana as a transit or a final destination for drugs or drug trafficking. You know, the NIB made a high-profile bust of drugs last week with a street value of $350 million. This is the president of Ghana talking. So look, let's just compare and contrast the difference in which the allegations. Yeah. So,
do you know why I said, Mr. Shyllon?
No, sir.
If this procedure had been followed in Sierra Leone, I think some political point would have been scored by the APC. Yes, it's a minority caucus, a group of minority members of parliament. They came up to ask a question. Okay. The reply came directly from the office of the president or from the president himself in his social media profile. What do you see behind it? Integrity.
Precisely.
John Mahama does not have to be flying, spending millions of dollars to launder Ghana's image. He's doing it by procedure and standards. The parliamentarians in Ghana do not have to be hiring social media ventriloquists to be doing their work. They ask the questions directly. This is how bad we are. This is how down we have deteriorated in Sierra Leone. And you know why that happens, Mr. Shyllon? Because Sierra Leoneans like to play victims. We like to play victims such that I not do business with a wait no more. Keep waiting. It is getting worse. When it gets on your doorstep, hey, not to me on a lie then lie for me. How do you expect me to believe that they are telling a lie on you when a situation of similar nature came up, you kept quiet? What am I implying? If the APC has kept quiet, are we to believe that they themselves are involved in this drug issue? It's a question they have to answer. Because the Yoslideka issue came well before this one we are seeing from Ghana. well before it. And nobody is saying a thing in Sierra Leone. The opposition is not saying a word. The office of the presidency, who is directly mentioned and has been mentioned severally by video, text, and audio in the international media, has not said a word until today. And silence is consent. I go left and this, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamboria. Let me take a call, at least a call, and then I will add to what you just said. Hello, caller. Which one are your name inside the call from?
I'm a concerned citizen and I call from the United States.
Thank you very much, Mr. Concerned Citizen. We welcome you. So tell us what you got.
Well, I released in the program, and what you get out of that, this type of career we go to Ghana, that don't show say na big organization operation. I don't know the type of plane we carry we own as Salone, if na passenger plane or if na the same. Because Red Cross, where this Israel and Gaza fight, the same Red Cross, they catch the red-handed waiting and they do. With the Hamas fighter them and everything. So some of the things where we they talk, now no say na organization business. Because if I not follow up this Sierra Leonean too much, but na individual, then they talk about that na low operation. Come to Ghana, when an ambulance carrier, that na big operation, not a small business. So let me see retreating the presidency or the government right now with the investigation. Let me see what they will come out with, because not to just petty business. When we they talk na Salone, one person in the pointed one. This na carrier. We na for assist wounded or whatever. So this na big operation. So we they talk now, but let me wait for the result. Then we can continue from there. But we they talk again. Salone politician them, they not get career. Now it makes Salone they go backward. Because anybody will come as a president, no matter if you know opposition or parliament, what they try for do for satisfy everybody, whether the opposition or the ruler, where they don't satisfy waiting them forget, not to everything and they defend for who they vote for them. So this not the play where they happen, where we know they get now other country them. So we go they cry but sell out. Waiting be up where APC be one we walk out in a parliament. Not to the same one APC stand. Waiting happen, the president get in position. Because na pay to play. Now in the happen na Salone. I know we go they refer with other country them. Because waiting we don't born with na party politics. Some other country not born with that type of kind of play day. Now I make every time they refer Senegal, Ghana, or whatever. We can forget something where we for limit certain discussion towards that. Because we not see no different as Salone. The politician they not get nothing if they left politics. Because most of the people they say for them they go na politics, na business people them, where they not get idea. And as soon as they bring them, they can join the society, no matter if not been good man, and mind don't change. Because now we're inside the same politics soup. So we go to cry on this all the time. Let's talk about the bridge. Now the problem this again at Salone. Not because you know my enemy, So I forgot do something when me self they jeopardize the law. Instead of I try for safeguard the law, and they say because I not like you, they la go kakana yos. Because you do so thing. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Then are we this way they go na church? Now we this way they go na mosque. We saw they pray to God.
All right. I think Mr. Concerned Citizen exhausting time. Again, extra time, but so the computer or the system shutting down. So thank you very much, sir. We greatly appreciate your contribution and suggestion. I hope you will continue to listen to it. Let me take one or two other calls. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening. This is Albert from Jam.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to thank you so much for covering such stories. And it's very interesting, especially with regard to Imran Sila, and I shot out to pronounce the name right. Right. For me, Imran action is disrespectful. It's not only disrespectful, but was very, very unprofessional. Because I think I don't come across the very video wherein I see the interaction between Imran Sila, somebody representing a whole section, a whole strategic section from the Ministry of Information, somebody of that caliber, for still on a studio, and the bully TV host live on camera is uncalled for. I think that's not just an example, a clear example of how the civic space don't become so eroded in our country. But if we go back again, I don't think it will sound not like a new thing. We all see embossed when at the Minister of Information, where doing a town hall meeting with the president, when a lady from nowhere will decide bold enough and ask the president, very brilliant and brave questions. Embossed when at the Minister of Information, what's happened? We all saw it all happen on camera. We shame the lady, give them public shaming, instructed police officers or state apparatus also match them out. Only God knows if that lady really enjoying freedom after the fact. So, it don't repeat over and over. I think even before Imran gets this very interview, there was an interview with the very Minister of Information. We're also going to studio. It will build a different picture. And you have been asked to clarify issues regarding this very damaging story concerning this, Dutch drug thing. And he want to ask the TV host for those questions to ask him. He really uncalled. So that's not the reason it was no stranger talk, because they are on boss on the dorm. So from what we see, the same Imran, they appear on a TV. The same is still the unleash, the same kind character. It's not a new at all. But it's very concerning. This is becoming really, really concerning. And I could say we, first of all, as Sierra Leoneans, we get really, really concerned with the way, which they go. Because, it's really troubling for me to say the government is Dutch from transparency, because the whole aim behind this is for Dutch, from being transparent, because the public want for waiting at the government position. Tell us something. This particular man that they talk about, we don't see videos, we don't see pictures. We will see I'm very close from the first gentleman of the country. And of course, very senior officials of the country, even senior police officers. From different parts of the country, we don't see evidences of that. So why should the government, especially the mouthpiece of the government, to dodge from really, presenting a transparent story or answers about this particular issue? It's troubling. This is really disturbing, And of course, coming to the issue of the breach, as you mentioned, and it's really sad that the very Ministry of Information and Civic Education, when they talk about, really to do their job, because these are some of the things they need to do. I mean, civic education, you go for that, and right from there, let the people know how, when, and how to use some of them public facilities there. Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can take one more call. Then I will go to Mr. Jamboria. Then I probably will make a comment and we'll move on. And then I think we'll have one or two more video for play. So, hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from?
Hello, Mr. Shyllon. It's not
Yes,
Abdullah. It's call from New Jersey, US.
hello, Mr. Abdullah. Welcome.
Thank you very much again. And thank you, Mr. Jamboria, as well, for job well done at the program. I did listen on a conversation on in one Sierra and also other people that call us then view. Somebody say in one Sierra, if you can answer the question if I'm a losing job. Somebody say arrogant today, say that. But me gets a different view here. Man, Sila, I don't ever meet her in person, but I don't follow him long from before this time, from where this government kind of power. By in the kind of demeanor way they appear for carry an officer as somebody really arrogant for this or that. But with people like in food parable say when you see river they flow, they make noise and something they under. On this same platform in the past, I don't give me own points on why some of them here they happen in our country. And the first thing where I always don't make clear that President Bill not be need for involved in any election malpractice in 2023 if he been really intend or can help the people and the country as he been promised during the debate and during the campaign in the first 5 years. Trust me, the opposition within a point where it not been necessary for them even campaign or even fetch anybody for the Sierra Leoneans and not vote for the opposition. If they been really do just one or two things out of within the campaign and promise in the first 5 years. But within President Bill do, he know very well, so he don't get no intention to do the right thing for the people. And at the same time, they intend for continuing power after the first 5 years. So what he do now for put measures in place for succeed in that field, in that sense. How? It spend the country money and money with other people they help the country with for all them institutions them which other people can call state capture. But specifically here, I look at the very institutions that will contribute badly for damage the image of the country and the stability with democracy, all of that. I talk of the judiciary, the law enforcement, police, and the army. What they do, they not spend money in other institutions here for put the right people in, or for make them go, make them know what they do in the right way. But you spend all that time and money to bring people in, you get total control over people that will not get integrity, people that will not get respect, self-respect for themselves. An example, now the former IG, and we see now the military, it takes people that we say will be dissenting views, people that from a region different from Union, and remove them from the people that the army, the police, the one that will hold the gun, when are the last option that they will get. I mean, the best option, the one they get for put the people of Sierra Leone under control, as opposed to a civilized civic oriented, and a decent person we will say the best way for able to capture me common people, now forget everything they want, do the right thing. So everything when I say now, Mr. Imran Sila no been get any way for convince we about what thing and don't do or what thing and they do for regards the damage of the image of the country. But however, as a politician, you can get an answer for Guy. You don't need for convince we. As a decent man, you don't need for convince we. If not me, I would say things and the way this government definitely don't do. Not necessarily then they in the favor of what the people expect, but things and the way they don't do, we I believe say, for don't be an answer. If you not been born in action, not been born out of the reason why I will give before I end my statement. And if I don't say we don't call the ambassador, we don't sack him, we don't replace him, that was an action. I mean, I'm not personally going to be convincing enough action, but that was an answer. That was supposed to be an answer. You know, you could say we don't respond to the Netherlands government, blah blah blah. Then action, give an answer. But instead, you want to give an answer based on what you could say. Right, not a call anyway. I'll call back. I will continue making a brief deal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me take one more call. Hello, caller. What you know your name? Where you call from? Hello. Hello, caller. Okay. Let me just go back to Mr. Jamboria, and then I go because we get one more. We'll get few more. We're approaching the end of time, so let me just move forward. So, Mr. Jamboria, if you get anything, any comment where you want to add, you can go ahead.
Briefly, I was very much impressed by the last caller. I was very much impressed by the submissions of the last caller. Now, then kind people here, they talk reason. And these are the people Sierra Leoneans should be listening to. He was very objective. He take both sides. He take the pros, he take the cons. And he give a solution where if Naim be used, I think he would have won the day. But the man went there premeditatedly to cause confusion. Because he come up from Paupa, talk boy cause confusion. I came here on a left net here now big no left confusion. You know, we get for take we country serious, but at the same time, that's how we don't reach Mr. Shyllon. Annoyance not solve nothing a Salone. Annoyance go only aggravate the situation as it is. But saying it as it should be said is a moral and ethical obligation to every Sierra Leonean. Say it in your own way. Like what the last speaker did, or the last caller did. He said it in his own way. He came out quietly and succinctly that this man should have done this, not this. And I hope Imran will listen to this and take from that. If in fact, if he wants to improve on his job, it will be in his best interest to call this man and befriend him. Because this man get the temperance we need. I go left on this.
Correct. And in fact, if you recall, Imran in the earlier statement say, the way they answered the question, later people then will call and thank him for that. I don't know which.
Well, now they do so. They thank him. Now they do so.
So that being the case, and somebody else call and say, one of the callers before this last caller, he used the phrase, but I know say back home so then say. He says Sierra Leone politicians they no get career. That's so input them. So yes. The implication of that, Salone politician then a drag man them.
A drag man them, a hustlers.
Yeah, then a hustlers. So then they go there not to represent the people in interest. Then Mr. Jamboria, you say something because I try for let me cover as much. You say something where you say, look how the opposition, Andrew and Ghana, as opposed to we own opposition. So the question I will ask you,
it's an indictment on the APC.
is that an indictment, an indication, or an implication of incompetence for in opposition? What do you think?
All of it put together.
Yeah, because
and at the end of the day, it's a social indictment on their level of legitimacy, their level of performance legitimacy.
Because we not see then the play, I won't forget about the government itself, but we not see the opposition. And this is the other concept people who don't understand. Okay, democracies vary from country to country. American democracy is not the same like the Canadian democracy. And American democracy is not the same like the British democracy. But despite that, they get certain things in common. The problem we see in Sierra Leone is that when the opposition still is trying to find its way, well, the opposition, let's say APC, we then decide for help the government of the day for silence the smaller party. Then we're not to APC the advantage at all.
Exactly.
I don't know how the people and they think. That one of the conditions now for keep the small opposition party them alive, small political parties them alive. But then join the SPP for dominate the whole thing about the tripartite. But it's disadvantageous to the APC because not to hold their power. You see, so I don't understand how then they think. But there are a lot of things, particularly these drug things what they talk about the repetition of Sierra Leone. Now then for they in the forefront. Now then for they bring this up. Now then for they complain about that. Now then for they indict the current government. Now then for prove to the world and the rest of us that we are a government in waiting.
Yeah, and that we are ready to clean this country of this kind of sickness.
Exactly. We're ready, able and willing, if we were to be given power today, to move forward, but we don't see it. So this is where there is a legitimate argument. If government were to change hands today in Sierra Leone, it would be the same old, same old. APC will only take off where they left off. This is the disappointing part because you don't see in politics, they use the phrase viable government or viable party in opposition. You don't see a viable party in opposition to run Sierra Leone efficiently.
Viable alternative to governance.
Alternative. Yes. You see, so you don't see a viable opposition at all to governance.
Mr. Shyllon, without wasting our time, we may discuss it at another time. I am of the very strong conviction that whatever the outcome of the 2023 election was, it will remain as it is. Let's forget about all this charade and crap about tripartite recommendations, etc. It will remain as it is because there is a status quo of unipolar mentality in Sierra Leone. There is no viable alternative to governance.
No.
The APC had sold its moral and ethical legitimacy by the very action where the APC they take right now. Rather than concentrate.
Or by the very non-action. It can be the action or the non-action.
Non-action is action itself.
Inaction
is action itself.
Yeah, I agree.
When you don't act, you allow the actions of negativity.
Precisely.
When you act, you control the action, then you move towards positivity. You see, there is a kind of hypothesis I am building around certain researches that I have been doing. By the grace of God, part of it will begin to be published this year in a book. The trauma in Sierra Leone, dating way back from pre-colonial times, slavery, etc., it don't create a culture of mistrust and lying and deceit, such that we are now prone to self-sabotage. In this present generation, everything that is happening in Sierra Leone is self-sabotage. Look at the head of state having his daughter involved with a drug baron. That's self-sabotage.
Precisely.
He sabotaged himself and the office of the presidency. The APC, una win election, una do all the wrong things for make the government if the election continue. It's self-sabotage.
Yeah.
I can always tell una say, the problem
of
of Sierra Leone is socio-psychological. If we want to make Sierra Leone better, let us look at the socio-psychological issues. Let us look at how we can do trauma healing, etc., etc. But we go discuss that at other programs. Allow no waste time. Go on.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Let me move on to a related topic, but another issue. We'll ask the control room for play a video of Dr. Yomkela concerning in condemnation of another high-profile individual in Cambia district.
Salone. Me famule na Cambia district. Salam alaikum. Mina Alhaji Honorable Dr. Kande Kole Yomkela. Una know the role now where they play in the central government. Let God answer with prayer this Ramadan where we don't do and this Eid where we don't do. As una know me na senior stakeholder na Cambia. I get information wey bother me, where I take to senior leadership na government and to senior, why I don't take to senior leadership na government and I don't take to senior leadership na the SLPP party. The information where I get is the former ambassador of Guinea, Almani, don't begin go around na Cambia. They try for interfere with governance systems in Cambia. I want to let people in Cambia know say, as a senior stakeholder in Cambia, senior government official, and one of the advisors to the president, I want to let Cambia people know say, today, Almami has no official capacity in the government of Sierra Leone. Almami they under investigation locally and internationally of key allegations against them about crimes we is allegedly commit. Let nobody not listen to Almami. Almami has no official position. At the office, government office, they make this video for Leona know say I stand on my existing authority as a senior stakeholder in Cambia and as a senior government official. Almami should step aside from all activities, political, non-political, that are related to governance. He is a nobody right now. He is under investigation until those investigations are finished and we prove his innocence. He cannot assume or pretend to assume any government position. If for no sake, he not get no role in the governance of Sierra Leone. Right now, he is under a cloud, he is under investigation on serious criminal activities. If we step aside, it seems to say the allegation is it interfere in local governance, it brag, it show off. I do this in my own responsibility as a senior citizen of Sierra Leone. The crimes we then accuse her of very serious, and waiting for the do now. Now for try for clear in name and pray to the Almighty this Lent season and Ramadan for say he's innocent. Because if he's not innocent, he will pay for his crimes if he's not innocent. But to begin to interfere and pretend that he get authority for do certain things in Cambia, he has no local standing. Today he's a nobody. He's an alleged crime committer until his name is cleared by his innocence and by facts and the investigation. Almami, I advise you, hands off Cambia completely. If you not do one, I don't inform senior government officials at the highest level of governance. If you not do one, government has no choice but to take other steps. And I hope the party officials will do the needful for let this man hands off until innocence is proven. Let God bless Una. Let God bless Gambia District.
All right. Mr. Jamboria, I think you get a lot to chew on, so go ahead, sir. Take the
Mr. Shyllon. Mr. Shyllon.
Yes, sir.
What I said before he brought the video is being demonstrated here. Self-sabotage. Kande Koleyom Kela is self-sabotaging himself. This is petty. It's delusional, portraying a superiority mentality, and they try for making himself portrayed as the victim. The man, yes, the man get case with cocaine. You boss were employee involved in the cocaine. So Almami Bangura they team up now like man, una touch him. They call una all names until himself did it. Una all they eat the cocaine money. The second thing here is Kande is a disappointment. If I was in his office and his shoes, I will not come public with a video. I'll go down to the people of Gambia, talk to them quietly. For a man who has gone to the level of being a director general of an international body, this is petty. Very petty. I can always avoid for talk issues surrounding Kande. We went to Jallo. I was a senior. I always had that area that I reserved for him, but he's going out of bounds. I don't know whether a frustration, sometimes it don't add up. Because if you see a man of his caliber, they go join Madabio, now add up. Otherwise, even for keeping integrity, get a consultancy up and running, make himself international. Let live with him respect. But this is going down. Almami Bangura is the elected chairman of SLPP for Gambia District. Until that position is changed, he has to perform his duty. And he didn't go there to canvass on his behalf. He canvassed for somebody within the same SLPP. Anyway, sometimes Nadia Lucky don't begin so. Then go begin fetch themselves. Then begin call name. Uda then begin $1 million for the cocaine. Uda they do the cocaine trafficking. Uda this. Not so. Na karma don't begin so. Now pray God na Salone. And the breeze don't begin blow. So over to you, sir.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Jamboria. There are lots of interesting comments coming. This one will just pop up. There was never viable opposition. What SLPP has done after opposition and now in governance. So as the comments come in, we will try to read as many of them as possible. And we are almost out of time. And if we can take any call, we will. Sierra Leoneans will only ever enjoy their democracy after the war between APC and SLPP is over.
They don't have a war. It's allowed that they don't have a war. They have a collusion fooling people that they have a war. They all play victims, whilst at the same time they collaborate. Over to you, sir.
Okay, in trying to manage the time remaining, let me take one last call, and then I will give me your comment, and if Mr. Jamboria has anything to say, we will. So, hello, caller. What's your name? Who's to call from, please? Hello, caller.
Hello, Mr. Shyllon. This is Abdullah Sissing from New Jersey, for Mr. Callback.
All right, Mr. Sisse, welcome. Thanks for calling back.
Thank you very much. Exactly as Mr. Jallo Jamboria did say, he was spot on. So I just want to continue from where I left, where first call.
No, don't forget, say you get 3 minutes. So manage your time well. Okay? All right.
So, as I be say, Mr. Imran not been get any reason not been get any response we will give it to the thrilling question we will convince we. However, it not mean no say there are ways there are answers we can present. We for sure saying a decent man, a man of integrity or so. But in persona, I know saying a very calm fellow. But again, as the point where we're making at that, when people then get parable, say we give the clue, we make noise or something they under. All of these, the actions of all of these politicians by this current government today, it is born out of within and see the very boss they do in character. I'm telling you, the behaviors of the subordinates are very much likely they come out of the character of the leader. I mean, within and see the leader they do in secret and in public. Now, President Bio don't appear to be in my own lifetime the most disrespectful president to in people that we elect him. We even go campaign to before he be president. In many, many ways. This president don't show some level of arrogance where it quite tolerable by any level of decency. This president, when people they don't cry, say they fly too much, because you know get any justifiable reason for give, in brag in front of them say, ladies and gentlemen, I will continue to fly. This president don't sit down before this 2023 election, from the by-elections. People they don't accusing government and the election commission for election malpractices. They don't say anything. Violence they don't happen. As John Benjamin been described as the most violent politician we know. We need to see on the campus say anything other than things then we they go against them. So now we they see people and they demonstrate in young actual character when they say elections, whether not by-election, now Slafa election, now local council election from the SLPP, now violence after violence, fight after fight, then they burn each other's houses. And you know they come out for say anything. So people they act based on within the notion that the true character of their leaders. So for say in one modern go in the gonna that studio they ask Mr. Jamboria say premeditated. Yes, but you know say some of the actions they will put up so then totally acceptable by a leader. In other words, not so in leader they act. So the other points from KKY in business. Mr. Jamboria say KKY na a failure or what, and I don't remember the term we use, and a disappointment. Okay, but me go further for say KKY na a disgrace. Now a disgrace. Look at the two videos they were on a show, or where I don't see in a social media. You they able to put two and two together. You see why KKY decide to drop that to that level to attack somebody. Where, as one other lady say, it gets higher standing at the SLPP party than in the KKY right now. As Mr. Jamboria said, a regional head now the SLPP for Cambia. So if you come to that level, that tells you you get grudge for this fellow we lock do power for enter SLPP party office. He can't get over this. These are some of the reasons why I believe say this man not so it go worse than Mother Bill. I'm telling you, KKY and get to that power, it go worse than Mother Bill. So sorry, me time don't again. We shall get the opportunity in the future for joining our program.
Next week. Keep coming.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Mr. Jamboria, go ahead.
I say next week. Let me call next week. Let keep coming. I enjoy listening to people who talk sense.
Yeah. Indeed.
When somebody they talk sense, you know, say this, they talk sense. And these are the people we should be listening to in Sierra Leone. Let we put we emotions or sentiments aside. I don't they talk and say, we can say, oh, people are not, we are patriotic. Sierra Leoneans are very patriotic. But our patriotism is polarized. We're patriotic to political parties. We're patriotic to we regions, we tribes, but that place called Sierra Leone does not exist in the minds of most of us. That's why people in public office will go all over the place doing petty things because they are patriotic to that group. When they use the wrong word, when they call our allegiance. Yes, it's an allegiance. But honestly, the geopolitical image of the Sierra Leonean is limited by his association. The map of Sierra Leone only exists on an atlas as a place. That's why, in fact, when we go to government, we steal from the government because we think it is our patriotic right to take from some other side that we don't owe any allegiance to. Yes, that word we then call nationalism, now I know they exist with we. Most times people think when they say, oh, this is a nationalist, that's somebody we get certain, I go call them, not a racial or fundamentalist leaning. No, a nationalist, now somebody who they look in country say, this is my place, this is my obligation, this is my responsibility. I should ensure the sustainability and continuity of this place. We don't have that. We don't have it. That's why we do funny things in public offices. Look how the United Nations, they can make petty over Cambia district. Will Cambia district winning presidency? I don't think so. If it was an issue connected with the whole of Sierra Leone, maybe I would have seen reason with what he said. But for Cambia district, Bokandebo, you disappoint me, honestly. You disappoint me. Thank you, sir.
Well, this is why I always say the book learning now one thing. And thank goodness some of we, or a lot of we belong to that group there. But with that book they we would all learn, how would carry we safe around. Now aim not the measure of a man.
Yeah.
That's what the true measure of the man is, not the amount of PhDs or double, triple masters and all of that. Then you get your own place. But that doesn't make you a good thinker, a balanced thinker, a compassionate person, a visionary, all of that. So Dr. Yomkela, like Mr. Jamboria to say, this is such a minute issue that everyone thought he may have risen far above that Inago camp because American man and get the saying and say, a good for punch up, but not to speak well of you where you punch down. So when you start punching down, you begin to come across as a being. Because the only reason why you be punching down is because that person you're fighting with is down already.
Yeah.
When you try for punch down, you are being a bully. You for no better and no one to stop. Dr. Yomkela had risen to such a level in academia and in the international community, in many other areas, that he should have been able to really make a deeper analysis, introspective analysis for being able for whether for address an issue, because he need for know by now for picking battles. This is the waste of in capital, in political capital, going after this man. But generally speaking, he himself say this man is alleged, is being accused. Well, I don't think that should have anything to do, unless he's violating the law. That should not infringe on the right for go around and carry any political activities, unless you can tell us there's a statute that this man is in violation of. But as Mr. Jamboria say, if the man still holds a certain position, now a political position at the district, and he faithfully executes in duties, I do not see why Dr. Yomkela is getting all worked up about that. So to me, the whole thing is a little bit baffling. And for him to make that video there, I don't see what purpose is served. But again, it's a good thing that we're seeing some of them activities here about people whom we think very highly of, you know? And so not to everybody with PhD, not to everybody with international reputation is made for leadership. Because you see, Africans, or a lot of us think, when you get PhD, you can be president. When you get PhD, you can be. No, it doesn't work like that. You forget the personality, you forget the skill set in dealing and talking and interacting with people. So with all of that, you know, and I'm glad with listeners, then they don't look. Some of them will give comments. Some of them don't send in comments. There are a lot of comments that we will not read because we will not get time. We are 10 minutes past the stopping time. So I want to thank everyone who takes up the time to listen to a program and who takes up the time to make some contribution. Not everything when I say we may agree with, but we appreciate knowing on our views. So until next week, we welcome you for continuing listening to us, and we thank you for listening and hope to see you next week. Someone said, well, I don't know. There's a comment that just came saying Yumkala's wife was the brain behind the thought process. She was the one thinking.
Maybe that's an hypothesis. May her soul rest in peace. I know the lady. We were all at Jallo University College.
That's maybe. Wonderful. All right, so thank you very much, listeners. Until next week, goodbye. Ta-ta.